In this special telecast, we'll take you to Kanyakumari in Tamil Nadu. Prime Minister Narendra Modi beginning his tapasya. Tapasvi, Prime Minister, a 45-hour meditation. It's a 2-day long spiritual journey. It's starting, and there is already, remember, while it's of course a private moment, there will be no food liquid. It is to look within a spiritual journey. And as Prime Minister Modi has maintained, he already has an India vision for the next 100 days. But it's also no coincidence that this is the Vivekananda Rock Memorial in Tamil Nadu. After Kedarnath 2019, Kanyakumari in 2024, a national unity message. Vivekananda has been an inspiration for Prime Minister Modi. He's been a follower of his readings, and therefore perhaps there's a reason that he has chosen this location. Political showdown meanwhile has erupted of should this have happened while the 7th phase is pending. Let's go on the ground. Over now to Akshita Nandagopal from Kanyakumari. Akshita, how's the morning like? And tell us a bit more details about this meditation session in Kanyakumari.
Right, Pooja, you can see behind me the beautiful location where the Prime Minister currently is. That right there is the Vivekananda Rock Memorial. The images that you see on your screens are from right outside the memorial when the Prime Minister stepped out early this morning. He came out reportedly earlier than 6, just as the sun was rising, which by the way is a spectacular sight in Kanyakumari. And in the visuals that you see on your screens, the Prime Minister performing Surya Namaskar, also performing a small puja dressed in all saffron. He stepped out early in the morning briefly and then went back to his dhyanam, to his meditation inside the hall, inside the meditation room that's been allotted to him. You can see also the location that he's been meditating at. He started his meditation puja at 6:45 last evening. In all, 45 hours that he will meditate for. So he began at 6:45 last evening in a meditation room in which there's an Om painted right in front of him. He's got prayer beads in his hands, and where he's seated, he also has a view of the Vivekananda statue. All of this to also ensure that, he sticks to following the ideals of Swami Vivekananda, something that he's spoken about in great detail previously as well. Right now, behind me at the memorial, they've actually opened it up for tourists, which came as quite a bit of a surprise for us, Pooja. But no cameras, no phones being allowed, all tourists being asked to keep their phones here and then allowed to visit the memorial. The entire building itself has, in fact, one part of it has been closed off. But they're trying to ensure that people, tourists who've come all the way to Kanyakumari aren't impacted either, that they get to go ahead and visit the beautiful rock memorial as well as the Thiruvalluvar statue. There are some absolutely stunning pictures of the Prime Minister offering puja early in the morning, essentially reawakening his spiritual side, and also a picture of him standing right next to the tall, beautiful Thiruvalluvar statue here. So in Kanyakumari, while the Prime Minister is just meters away from where I am, 300 meters away from where I am, he's performing yoga, he's performing pujas, and also continuing his meditation. In this 45 hours puja, the Prime Minister isn't consuming any food. He's on a liquid diet, having coconut water as well as grape juice, and also that's very similar to, remember, what the Prime Minister did just before the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha. But this is a practice that he usually follows as well. Back in 2019, you had the Prime Minister visiting Kedarnath. In 2014, the Pratapgarh Fort. And every single time he's done this, just about a 48-hour spiritual retreat of sorts, he's always chosen to also stick to a very, very specific diet, which is what he's doing here as well. There's very minimal security in that rock memorial. And that's why you're seeing people also getting a chance to visit there. Crowds, of course, swelling up, knowing the Prime Minister Modi is there. They're hoping to catch a glimpse of him, but of course that will be impossible because he's inside that building. And I'll zoom in once again for you. He's inside that particular building in one of the meditation rooms. So that area has been completely secured. Tourists are being allowed inside only to a certain extent, but they're allowed to go in without their camera phones, without taking their phones with them. They're allowed to take in the beautiful sights and sounds of Kanyakumari. Ferries are moving back and forth as well, but the Prime Minister seated deep inside that building, deep inside the mandapam, undisturbed, unperturbed by the goings-on here in Kanyakumari, or for that matter, the spotlight that's been put on his meditation right now. So he is currently taking part in the dhyanam, which will go on for 45 hours. So till tomorrow afternoon, till about 1 p.m., you'll have the Prime Minister continuing this meditation, only taking a brief break early in the morning when he steps out in the manner that he did yesterday as well, and the manner that he did this morning as well, when he did go ahead and perform the Surya Namaskar, perform prayers while looking at the sea. Remember that this is the point in Kanyakumari. It's the southernmost tip of India. The three oceans converge here, the Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean. They converge here, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but for me it's crystal clear, the three different colors of the seas, and that shows you the convergence of the three oceans. It's considered to be a holy point for many devotees who come here, who offer prayers at the very famous Bhagwati Amman temple. They also worship the seas here because of the convergence point of the three oceans. Can I just turn around quickly? And I know this is a beautiful sight, but I'll just take away from it for a second to show you that we're standing in front of the Bhagwati Amman temple. This is where the Prime Minister came. And I just want to give you a sense of how close we are really to the sea. So if the temple is here, the Prime Minister came to this very entrance point yesterday, last evening, and from here directly made his way to the boat jetty, which is at that particular distance, and from there boarded a ferry, took it right up to the Rock Memorial. Just about a 300-meter journey, which he completed, of course, in a few minutes. He was accompanied by some security personnel. There were members of the Vivekananda Kendra also who were present inside to greet the Prime Minister. But since then, it's been a quiet day for him, like he intended, quietly away from really the glare, from the public glare, and away from the heat of the elections. The Prime Minister is there in complete solitude, in stillness and quiet, enjoying a moment to himself and sticking to his spiritual retreat, something that he's repeatedly done before and actually at the culmination of an hectic election season as well.
Akshita, what I find very interesting, because this is not just a Vivekanand Rock Memorial. This is where in 1892 Swami Vivekananda is believed to have meditated for a vision of India, a Bharat Mata, so to say, that we have all followed even during the freedom struggle specifically. To come to that Rock Memorial, there's also a messaging there, isn't it? That Prime Minister Modi also says, I have an India vision for the next 100 days. And everything about Prime Minister Modi has a certain strategy, especially when it comes to national unity.
Very, very true, Pooja, which is why there have been many who've described this particular Dhyanam as a Dhyanam for Bharat, for the idea of Bharat, for the progress of Bharat, and not just a personal one for the Prime Minister, but one where he's looking to think about Bharat right now. The elections, of course, are coming to its end. We'll know very soon if he will continue as the Prime Minister or not, but the Prime Minister himself has expressed confidence repeatedly that he's coming back for a third term, and this perhaps is also part of his planning of what he envisions for Bharat, which is why he chose this particular spot. Just to also take you back in history of why this memorial is so very important. Now, it's said that Swami Vivekananda, back then Narendra, so interestingly, it's a story of two Narendras that we're talking about right now. Swami Vivekananda swam from here right up to the memorial, and I'm very, very close, by the way. It's just about 300 meters away from me, Pooja, so it's a stunning sight. But he swam through the oceans for 300 meters right up to that particular rock. Of course, at that point there was no structure standing. He was all alone there in those two bits of land right in the sea, meditated for 3 days and 3 nights, attained enlightenment there. So essentially from Narendra he became Swami Vivekananda at that very rock, which is why it's so important to our country's history, to our country's tradition also, Pooja, and to our spiritual history. The Prime Minister has repeatedly spoken about how much Swami Vivekananda has inspired him. Even in Kolkata recently at a roadshow, he went ahead and visited the ancestral birthplace of Swami Vivekananda. So he's always ensured that he's taken out that chance to kind of revisit places that helped Swami Vivekananda become who he is and become the legend that he is for all of us today. And even before this, I remember when he's come down to Tamil Nadu for campaigning, he's always expressed awe over this particular site. I don't know if you remember, but he's posted pictures previously from his chopper showing this very site and talking about how beautiful it is. And then, of course, there's the Tiruvalluvar statue also that you see behind me. The Prime Minister has spoken repeatedly about his, admiration for Tamil culture, for Tamil tradition and for icons like Thiruvalluvar, the famous Tamil poet. So expect tomorrow, before the Prime Minister wraps up his meditation, he will also reportedly visit the Thiruvalluvar statue, pay his tribute to the legendary poet as well. Of course, while this is a private visit of the Prime Minister, Pooja, there's so much to read in between, and of course a lot of political, a lot of politics also involved, a lot of political messaging. And the reason I say that is because, when he's paying tribute to Thiruvalluvar, you're talking about Tamil tradition, Tamil culture, something he's spoken about repeatedly. Swami Vivekananda, a connection from Bengal to Tamil Nadu. And then, of course, there's the fact that he's chosen Kanyakumari, Tamil Nadu. He's spoken several times about the Kashi Tamil Sangamam. And so that is something also that's a personal pet project, a passion project of sorts for him. He's always spoken about his fondness for Tamil Nadu. And that's why perhaps he's chosen this location, not just because of the Swami Vivekananda Connect, but also because of other issues as well, other reasons for him to be here right now at this beautiful, beautiful location. The setting is absolutely perfect. Yes, you've got a whole lot of history attached to that monument behind me, but just look at this setting around me amid this beautiful sea where the three oceans, like I said, converge. It's a rocky coast. The weather is absolutely beautiful with the onset of the monsoons as well. So you've got the perfect setting for the Prime Minister's Dhyanam right now. And it's giving a huge boost to tourism. There are people who are heading there in ferries. They are allowed right now to visit certain parts of the Rock Memorial because clearly the Prime Minister sent out a message that he doesn't want people to be affected by his meditation. So people are being allowed onto the Vivekananda Rock Memorial, which is one of the most iconic locations, biggest sightseeing destination here. There were many tourists who were telling me earlier yesterday that, we didn't know the Prime Minister is coming. We're happy it's coincided with his visit, but at the same time, we're not able to visit the most iconic location of Kanyakumari. Today, that's changed. Permission has been granted for all of them to go there. Of course, there are restrictions, like they're not allowed to take their phones with them so that nobody can click any pictures right now. But they're, of course, far away from where the Prime Minister is. The Prime Minister continuing his dhyanam, his meditation, completely unperturbed, undisturbed by the tourists or by all of us here at the media frenzy in Kanyakumari.
Right. Akshita, hi, Nabila here, and lovely images that we see there right behind you. And I'd like to specify what you rightly said, three oceans converging. The BJP has sort of read this as national unity that Prime Minister Modi is trying to project through this meditation spree at the Vivekananda Rocks. If you could tell us the concept of national unity that Prime Minister is trying to establish, because what we know here is that there are three beautiful oceans that converge, like you rightly said, the Indian Ocean, the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea. Three oceans coming together, and that's the spot that Prime Minister Modi has chosen to carry out this meditation at the fag end of the Lok Sabha elections. BJP calls this national unity, symbolic to that.
That's right, Nabila. My apologies. It's really, really windy here with the monsoons having set in. But you're right. The convergence of the three oceans, I'm hoping you can see it on our screens because it's stunning. These images and the scenery itself is breathtaking because you can see the three layers of the ocean, the three colors here in the coast because of the Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean meeting at this particular point. It's also considered to be a very blessed point. And you'll have people here all through the year coming and also offering their prayers to the seas, Nabila, because this right here is considered to be a very auspicious point of the meeting of the three oceans, which is why you had those images of the Prime Minister early this morning also going ahead and performing a puja, looking at the seas and offering prayers and also performing a Surya Namaskar. There's no better setting for really, a morning yoga session than this, considering the beautiful images that you see right now and the scenery all across. And imagine being on that piece of land where all around you're surrounded by the ocean, very few people around you. So it's truly a point where, you can attain enlightenment, like with what happened with Swami Vivekananda. He was here many hundreds of years ago, of course, and attained enlightenment here where he got the vision of Bharat Mata, of a united, unified Bharat. The Prime Minister and the BJP, of course, have repeatedly over the last 1 year spoken about their vision for Bharat. And that's why perhaps the messaging here is so very crucial. that the Prime Minister is saying that, look, I'm confident of a third term, which is why I'm already putting the focus on Bharat Mata, on a unified Bharat, and that's why he's chosen this particular location. But having said that, it's a very private trip in the sense, Nabila, that the Prime Minister is choosing to be seated in a meditation hall completely on his own right now. And while he meditates, he has the prayer beads with him. There's an Om symbol right in front of him. He's continuously chanting slogans and continuing his dhyanam, taking brief breaks for a meal or two. And by meal, I mean a completely liquid diet where he's having only coconut water, only having grape juice and nothing else. Interestingly also, there's so much symbolism involved in the Prime Minister's visit here. For example, he started off last evening from the temple, from in fact the Bhagwati Amman temple, which is right next to me, right by the coast. And this is in fact a temple dedicated to goddess Parvati, otherwise known as Kanyakumari, which is what gives the name to this particular town. Now, goddess Parvati, and people usually come here centuries ago, the men who used to come here would go ahead and first offer prayers to the goddess and then go for sannyas. And this is a goddess known for penance, which is why it's important that the Prime Minister first visited this temple and then gone to the memorial for his meditation session. In fact, even at the Rock Memorial, while, it's a memorial for Swami Vivekananda, there's also a Pada Mandapam. A Pada means footprint, essentially. And it's there that goddess Parvati or goddess Kanyakumari actually performed a tapas for Lord Shiva. So there's so much history, legend attached to this particular Rock Memorial and to that piece of land there. The Prime Minister, being very spiritual as he is, Nabila, perhaps knew all about the symbolism and the importance of this particular location, and that's why has chosen this particular location this time for his dhyanam, for his 45-hour meditation. He's going to be there since last evening. Of course, 6:45 is when he kicked off his meditation. Till tomorrow, 1:30, we're being told in the afternoon, he will continue his meditation to complete 45 hours. And then by about 3 p.m., he'll make his way out of Kanyakumari. And no doubt it's a hugely memorable visit for him. It could really turn things around here in Kanyakumari. All the locals I've spoken to, they're absolutely thrilled that the Prime Minister has chosen this location because they believe that now Kanyakumari will be put on the world map and that they're going to see a lot more tourists coming in here. And hopefully that will translate to a whole lot of development. They're hoping that the Lakshadweep story, as it is, Nabila, plays out here at Kanyakumari too.
Well, that's the charm of Prime Minister Modi. The moment he lands at a place, there's interest within that area that peaks multifolds. And Lakshadweep, like you rightly said, was one of those destinations that became a tourist hub right after Prime Minister Modi visited. Kanyakumari seems to be next in the line.